Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and of course, continuing on, reviewing Halloweenish materials on the weekdays. Yep. And yeah, as was teased in the last Halloweenish review, if any of you guys even guessed and figured out what it was and such, and, you know, for me, I didn't know how else to tease and to like say quote from the movie or something, but all I said was just baby. And if any of you even figured it out, good on you. Just, yeah. But that's right. You read the title and you know exactly what it is that I'm reviewing, and yeah, this is a perfect film to watch around Halloween time. No kidding. And I'm glad to have finally seen this, and oh boy, because not what I was expecting. In fact, luckily I didn't see any clips or bits and pieces of this movie, nor I don't think if I seen like any of the trailers or anything like that before watching the movie. I don't seem to have any recollection. I would know if I did, but no, I didn't. And, well, good thing I didn't, and now that I've finally seen this movie fully in its glory and just, yeah. Okay, so that's right, guys. I am finally reviewing, from 1968, Rosemary's Baby. Yep, Rosemary's Baby. Oh, boy. Yeah, again, this was something. This was for sure something. And I seem to recall, because, fun fact, Stanley Kubrick, he had the cast of The Shining watch this, Eraserhead, and The Exorcist to get them in the right frame of mind. I can see now with Rosemary's Baby. Jeez, yeah. Rosemary's Baby is something, as I've said, and I know I'm probably gonna say it again further on in this review, but yeah. But at the same time, I mean, it's a pretty good film. You know, and the fact that this came out in the late 1960s, you know, and especially right around when, slowly but surely, some certain things that, you know, back then you wouldn't quite see in movies. But by this point, and like, say, in the 1970s and so on, yeah, so, jeez. I think that, you know, the direction of this movie, it was pretty good, you know, intenseful, of course, and just thrilling, and so on, with the casting, and the story, and, the music and score, and just, what more do I have to say? Yeah, Rosemary's Baby is quite good. I think it would be kind of difficult to watch, I want to say, but overall, it is a masterpiece of a movie, without a doubt. Coming straight from Paramount and such, yeah, so, anyways. But yeah, for me, I even though, because you know, very quite disturbed by the ending of this movie, yeah, I still had an okay time watching this movie. What more do I have to say? But anyways, all right, so with that being said, and as always, read the description / the story. A young wife comes to believe that her offspring is not of this world. Wayfish Rosemary Woodhouse, yeah. Oh, I didn't quite catch her very first name, like, you know, Wayfish. Yeah. Anyways, and her struggling actor husband, Guy, moved to a New York City apartment building with an anonymous reputation and odd neighbors. Roman and Minnie Kazvat, if I'm saying their last name right. When Rosemary becomes pregnant, she becomes increasingly isolated, and the diabolical truth is revealed only after Rosemary gives birth. Oh, okay. All right, so with that out of the way, because getting into the movie itself, and yeah. Oh yeah, and I should have known, because this is based off of the book / novel by the same name by Ira Levin, and Roman Polanski. Being the director of this. Yeah, I actually might have forgot about that, but yeah. He's directed some good films. I recall the Oscar-nominated winning film, The Pianist. Is that right? Because Adrian Brody won his very first Oscar for that movie. So, yeah. Yeah, so, again, getting into the movie itself, yeah, again, because, this couple moving into New York and acquiring an apartment building, and they learn about a few things on whom used to live in that apartment building and such. And even, like, say, when looking around, like, at one point, like, there's a cabinet dresser and such, like, it seems like it's blocking a door, and by moving it, and what's behind that door, just some, like, appliances, or just, for laundry and stuff like that. And two of the main characters, the Woodhouses, Rosemary Woodhouse being played by Mia Farrow. Yeah, I think I'm correctly pronouncing that, her last name. Again, you know me sometimes. Guy Woodhouse being played by John Cassavetes, if I'm even saying his last name right. Yeah. Yeah, so, Mia, yeah, because, I recall, yeah, she is British, I want to say, yeah, and as for Guy, because, well, he is an actor, and as I read in the description / the story, doing some movies, and most prominently television, and, everything seems to be going pretty good for Rosemary and Guy, and now that they're slowly but surely settling down, in this new home that they've acquired and such, and bought, and happily living so far. And when they've done some redecorating in the apartment building, and when it comes to meeting their new neighbors, which of course being Minnie and Roman. Minnie being played by the late Ruth Gordon, and Roman, Minnie's husband, being played by the late Sidney Blackmere, yeah. And they seem like okay neighbors, and even at one point in the laundry room, Rosemary meets a new friend, basically, Terry, being played by Victoria Vetri, and they headed off, and even, like, at one point, like, Terry pointing out and showing Rosemary a necklace that she's wearing, and it has an odd smell, yeah. And not to mention that at one point, and after Rosemary and Terry, they've gotten to know each other a little bit, and already, like, a friendship building. Like, Rosemary and Guy, they're in bed, and we hear this, like, chanting. It's like, on the other side of the apartment building, by the wall and such. And what's going on, basically? Very strange and odd. But until later on when we've slowly but surely find out more, but yeah. And at one point and out of nowhere, as Rosemary and Guy, sometime later, like, they're one night strolling through the evening in the city, well, a crime scene has happened. Apparently, someone committed suicide, and, well, that being Terry, because apparently, like, she jumped out of the building, and Minnie and Roman, they knew Terry, and Terry had been staying with Minnie and Roman, as I recall, and, yeah. But it's unfortunate, but little did Rosemary especially, like, little did she know the reasoning of why Terry killed herself. So, yeah. And even later on, the necklace that was once worn by Terry is given to Rosemary. And a little later on, because Rosemary and Guy, they start to, like, spend some time with the cast vets, Minnie and Roman. I'm just going to go by their first names. They spend some time with them at, a handful of times in this movie, and there's a bond that happens, and seems to be going pretty well, The dialogue in this movie, like, so many conversations happening, and, well, even, like, because Rosemary, I mean, she's not really suspecting anything at first, and I'm pretty sure, because the same kind of goes for some of us audience. I know that goes for me, because how was I really supposed to know what to expect further into the movie? But anyways, but yeah, so, and also, and to speed things up, because, yeah, still, things going pretty well for Rosemary and Guy, even, like, to go ahead and come up to this, like, where they're having dinner, and a little later, Rosemary got drunk, and she was taken to the bedroom, and then she started, like, it seemed like at first, like, hallucinating a little bit, just like, it's like she was seeing herself on a boat, but then it just gets weird, because, like, is this still a dream? What's going on? Even, like, Guy is there, like, she's seeing Guy, but we're also seeing, like, say, Minnie and Roman, and these weird, like, images that we see, and, like, what happens next, like, and, you know, keep in mind, because since this came out in 1968, I didn't really kind of expect this, and as I stated, I didn't know what I was really getting into, but yeah, just, like, nudity is in this movie, and especially some elderly people, they're nude, and even we see Guy nude. What is going on? What's happening? Is she still dreaming? Is this a hallucination? What is going on? But, you know, even Rosemary was thinking if she was still dreaming, but then she realized that maybe she isn't dreaming, and this, like, ritual happening and blood being poured on her naked body and such, smeared like a painting, you know? And a weird-looking creature, whatever, just, like pretty much raping her, basically. And we don't know what it was specifically, but until later on in this movie. But, yeah. But apparently the next day, she seems to be okay, and if it was a dream, we don't know right now, but just, jeez. But anyways, so, and some of the other characters that we see, like, and Minnie and Roman, they're in on this. They help out Rosemary, like, they have Rosemary see a new doctor, and that being Dr. Abraham Saperstein, if I'm even pronouncing his last name right. First name Abraham, but yeah. The doctor being played by the late Ralph Bellamy. Yeah, I know I've probably seen him in some of the other cast members of this movie and other movies, but I can't think right now. But anyways, so yeah, she starts seeing a new doctor. Originally, the doctor that she was seeing was Dr. Hill. We do see Dr. Hill later on in the movie, and whom plays Dr. Hill? I knew he was in this movie, but I'm not going to mention him yet until I get there. So she starts seeing the new doctor, Dr. Abraham. That's how I'm going to call him, Dr. Abraham. You know, I hate when IMDb does this sometimes. Like, come on. Sometimes they ought to, you know, like, have the full name of some characters. In this case, the doctor, his first name is not there. Just, I don't know. You know, what can you do and with IMDb sometimes? But anyways, so, again, she starts seeing a new doctor, and, well, Rosemary and Guy, they are considering having kids of their own. Like, they're thinking of having 3, and when coming up with names, well, Rosemary, if I remember correctly, yeah, like, she at first thought of naming the child, and if it would be a girl, Susan, but then later on, she was thinking of, like, say, either Andy or Jenny. As I recall, I got those names right in what she said, because whether if it was a boy or girl first, either Andy or Jenny, if it was either one of the genders. But yeah. And they're not, I mean, you know, so far, like, you know, Rosemary's not pregnant yet, but she gets there. She gets there a little later on. And a friend of Rosemary's, Hutch, he has kind of a, you know, important part in this movie. Hutch being played by the late Maurice Evans. Yeah, so again, Hutch being good friends with Rosemary, and as well as Guy. And later on, Hutch trying to help out with Rosemary, especially what happens later on in the movie. And, like, there's one sequence where, you know, with Hutch visiting Rosemary, and then, Roman, you know, visiting Rosemary and getting to meet Hutch as well. And, then, like, you know, because, you know, with Rosemary wearing the necklace that was once worn by Terry, but then passed on to her, and Hutch, like, seeing the necklace and even getting a whiff of this of what it smells like, and, yeah, unusual smell, of course, and, yeah. And, you know, to speed things up still, because, like, then later on, and, more with Guy, because with, you know, him doing some acting, and, yeah, because there are times where we do see, where there are shots in the movie where we see the television, and we would sometimes see Guy on, like, what show, whatever it is that he's on, because, you know, as I said, he's done movies, TV, and he's also done radio. Forgot to mention that, radio as well. at one moment, at one point in the movie, I should say, there's a phone call received, for Guy, and apparently, another actor by the name of it was okay, there are some that are uncredited, but I were to assume that maybe he either was credited or uncredited. I don't know. Just in case, I'll put his I'll put the name of the actor and the character that he played in a text, just in case. But yeah, so receiving a phone call basically because a fellow actor basically became blind, and the role that was supposed to be given to him now given to Guy, and him accepting it, and proceeding on, and for whom was originally going to play that part, and basically Guy has to be on crutches, and yeah, and like a few times where we see him practicing and rehearsing, yeah. And then, at one point, a little later on, because, well, Rosemary does get pregnant, and yeah, and the doctor confirming this to Rosemary that she is indeed pregnant, and if it will be a boy or girl. It is, I think, at one point later on, it is established that, it's gonna be a boy, so, yeah. So yeah, Rosemary becoming pregnant, and she gets a new makeover. She now has gone with short hair, and this has to do with, her new doctor and such. But then, later on in the movie, she becomes sick, and she's not feeling so good. And the more time she spends with, the fellow neighbors in the apartment, things just getting slowly but surely weird. I tell you. And still, even though we really don't suspect anything and what's really going on with, say, Minnie and Roman, jeez. Yeah, and to name off some of the other characters, there's Laura Louise being played by Patsy Kelly, Mr. Nicholas, being played by Elisha Cook Jr., if I'm getting the first name right, Elsie Dunstan, being played by Emmeline Henry, and Grace Cardiff, being played by Hannah Landy, Dr. Shand, being played by Phil Leeds, Diego, being played by D'Urville Martin, Mrs. Gilmore, being played by Hope Summers, and two of Rosemary's friends. That's how they're credited. Rosemary's girlfriend. They were played by Maureen Gordon and Wendy Wagner. So, and some of the others, the rest of the cast that I'm looking at, they're uncredited, Lady on Yacht, being played by Toby Adler, and Dr. Hill's Answering Service, being played by Radina Alda, if I'm getting that right. And there was a salesman being played by Bill Baldwin, and Mr. Wheeze being played by Walter Baldwin. Sun-browned man being played by Rob Bearcroft, and so on. But yeah, so again, getting back into the movie, because Rosemary's slowly but surely not feeling so well, and how disturbed she is, and especially because with her fellow neighbors, and even at one point she's planning to throw a party, for some old friends that she had not seen in a long time, well, and hence two of Rosemary's girlfriends. And she is not going to have, say, Minnie or Roman invited to the party, even when, say, Minnie pops up and she wants to help out Rosemary, but, she doesn't want that, and she doesn't want her to be there at all while this is going on. And that's what happens, because the party going on, but unfortunately for Rosemary, she's just feeling worse. And Rosemary's girl pals, they take her into the kitchen and, private conversation, not even let Guy coming in there, and for the best. Yeah, they knew what they were doing. Little did they know what they were really doing, so helping out Rosemary. And Rosemary going on about, her not feeling well, and talking about her doctor, which being Dr. Abraham. And, and because with what she tells them, they can immediately understand, and, I think, because they know that, what an asshole this doctor is, and just, and they convince her to go back to see Dr. Hill. Forget Abraham, go see Dr. Hill, and just, and it's just, and because, with her being in pain since November, and did I forget to mention, because part of this movie taking place around, say, Christmas and New Year's, and, well, after, with New Year's, later on, the movie is set in 1966. So, at the beginning, it took place in 1965, and then the next year, 1966. Okay, but anyways, so continuing, and to still speed things up because, with the pain that she's in, and even when she's talking with Guy, and this is after the party, and they have a bit of an argument about, Rosemary is considering moving, and, maybe, she needs to get a second opinion, and thus going straight to Dr. Hill. But Guy, he's having none of this, but then, at one point and out of nowhere, the pain that Rosemary has been going through, and when they were arguing and she was walking a little, well, apparently, it stops. It just stops. The pain is done for. It's no more. It's gone, and she's feeling all right now, and everything seems to be looking okay for Rosemary, and to soon have the baby, and whether if it'll be a boy or a girl, officially, and so on. But, yeah. And even at one point, because, Rosemary was considering on meeting with Hutch. They were supposed to meet. But that ultimately didn't happen because apparently, because she received a phone call, I believe, from Grace Cardiff, that when she was supposed to meet with Hutch at a specific location, apparently she had found out that Hutch had gone into the hospital because, he got sick, and, and unfortunately, sadly, Hutch didn't make it. He didn't make it. But even when, say, Rosemary and Guy, they attended to Hutch's funeral, they were late, but still turned out all right for them. And Rosemary meeting with Hutch's friend, whom she talked on the phone when, she was informed, Hutch left Rosemary a book, and basically, the book being called Anagram, and this is where she finds and solves some clues, and with what's going on, and with that has to do with Minnie and Roman, and just with all that's happening, just weird things. So the anagram, a description of it, the anagram, Roman, his last name, is for Steve Marceau, if I'm pronouncing that right, the son of a former Bramford resident and a reputed Satanist. Rosemary discovers this anagram using Scrabble tiles after her friend Grace Cardiff tells her that Hutch is dead. Hutch gave Rosemary a book on witchcraft, all of them witches, along with the cryptid message. In the name is in an anagram, but yeah. So Hutch, it's thanks to Hutch for, helping her out with all that he can, and when he died, so yeah. So her figuring it out, and even telling Guy on this cult, and with, having blood, and, with a baby, and, she's gonna protect this baby at all costs, and that's what she's doing. And that's when, later on, and still speed things up, because Rosemary trying to get in touch with Dr. Hill at a telephone booth, and I had seen, bits, I've seen, the stilled image of that, and even though I had not seen clips of this movie before watching the film itself, I, of course, had seen some still shots and pictures of this movie, of course, say on its IMDb page, but yeah. So her in the telephone booth trying to get in touch with Dr. Hill, speaking, she is speaking directly to someone, at Dr. Hill's office, and, she's she's trying her best, and, she is determined to meet with him no matter what, today. And thankfully, because, well, Dr. Hill does answer the phone, and Rosemary, she gives him the information and details on what's going on, and with, like witchcraft and stuff like that. And she is, she's begging for him to see her today, but he's unable to. But the more they talk, and well, it leads up to, him having her meet him at 8 p.m. the same day, and thus that's what happens. And her trying to be careful while in the telephone booth because of people, outside, and just, you never know, because who might be after her and on her tail and such. And even, say, her husband, because, yeah, her, supposedly she thinks that her husband is in on this too and is a part of this cult. And not to mention, even when she, a little early on, got on call with, the actor who became blind, and her husband took the role that was supposed to be given to him, and the information that she got from him, and that's when, yeah, she suspects because of how he got blind and so on. Okay, so when she does meet up with Dr. Hill, at his office and so on, and, and she took a taxi cab, well, because, and she asked, the taxi driver, to, keep it, to watch her, when she makes her way to the door and once she's inside, yeah. And, yeah, it's nice that the taxi driver does do that, and, yeah. When she does meet with Dr. Hill, and she gives him all the information, all the details on what had been happening, and talking about witchcraft, this cult, and, the harm and danger that her, soon-to-be-born child is in, and, talking about her husband, and even, say, with, the actor on whom got blind, and, well, because basically, and I'll go ahead and say this, that, it turns out that it was their doing, that cult and such, causing that man to be blind, and, well, for Guy to get that role, yeah. And, yeah, now to go ahead and mention him, because whom plays Dr. Hill in this is the late legendary Charles Grodin. Yeah, Charles Grodin. Who doesn't love Charles Grodin? Yeah, because... and I knew that he was in this movie. I knew he was, but I didn't know that he would have a small part in this. I mean, this is Charles Grodin we're talking about. But, I mean, in the later years, in other big films that he was in, and, how he would get big roles and starring roles, just, yeah. I mean, look at the other films that Charles Grodin has starred in, say from Midnight Run, him playing the main antagonist in one of the Muppet movies, The Great Muppet Caper, and most notably, he's best known for this, and that, of course, being Beethoven. Yeah, so, anyways, but I mean, come on, he had done more than just Beethoven. God, but obviously he was good in that, no doubt about it, because he's Charles Grodin. So, yeah, again, Charles Grodin playing Dr. Hill, and he takes this well. He doesn't find her crazy or anything. Even, say, when she mentions the name of Dr. Abraham, and he is familiar with Dr. Abraham, and I think, he said that he met him, once or twice. And he even states to Rosemary that he doesn't believe in witchcraft, but he believes, and yeah, who wouldn't, the crazy people and stuff like that out in the world. No doubt about it. I'm way ahead of him. And Dr. Hill offers Rosemary to stay in a room, and she'll be safe and sound, and that's what happens. But, and you know what? I should have seen this coming. I might have had a good feeling something like this would happen. She would be found. And that's what happens. She wakes up and, well, the door opens. And, well, Abraham and Guy are there. And even Dr. Hill is standing right out in the hallway, and he apparently was in on this. And you know what? Whether if he's really a part of that cult or something, I don't think the movie really establishes that, but we are left to assume for sure. So she, Abraham tells Rosemary to keep quiet, and because of this witchcraft talk and such. and thus, having her calmly walk with them, get into a car, and thus making their way back to the apartment building. And she knows that, even I knew this was coming, that she knows that she's going to make a run for it. And she intentionally, dropping some stuff from her purse, and, she even took some money with her. And when she does that, and Abraham and Guy are, helping her picking the stuff up, she makes a break for it, getting in the elevator and making her way back into the apartment building and such, the room. And, trying to close the door on them, and, rightfully so for her, like, telling them, go to hell and stuff like that. Yeah, because her trying to make a run for it. But even when, they do, have her caught, and they pin her down to the bed and injecting her with something. And yeah, because we see Minnie, Roman, and all the other, strange neighbors. And yeah, it's like, how many of them are in on this? Seriously. We find out, of course, and we see those people, especially, mainly, Minnie, Roman, Dr. Abraham, and even Guy. So, and apparently she's about to go into labor, and again, because they inject her with something, and then the next day, she wakes up, and apparently everything's okay. Nothing bad is happening, and Guy comforting her, and, she's wondering about the baby, and, if it's a he or she, and, where is the baby? It's nowhere to be seen. And even when Abraham is there, and apparently, he informs Rosemary that, unfortunately, the baby did not make it. But she's not believing that. She is really suspecting that, yeah, they are, she really thinks that, yeah, they're just saying some, pardon my French, but it's true, saying some bullshit stuff. And they are for real. They are legit. A part of this cult and witchcraft. And once again, like, she's injected. And then a little later on, she's given these pills. But thankfully, and smart on her, very smart on her, I should say, she pretends to take the pills, but she's hiding them. She's kind of like, hiding them, just like, and ducking, like, putting them like in a, underneath something. And yeah, so... And that she's going to do something, obviously. And even when at one point, she does hear some baby crying. And clearly that would be her, now born child. And thus, what she plans to do is, well, try to find where they're hiding. And even, like, say, when she makes her way to the closet that was covered by that dresser, and, going in and discovering and looking through a keyhole and seeing that there's something there, like, very fancy, behind that door. And even when she's trying to hide, and when Guy comes into the apartment and such, and yeah, and her taking a knife, I recall and seen images that she wields a knife. And I was expecting, when I was watching the movie, I was expecting that maybe she would do some stabbing. But when she proceeds on and creeping and walking through the halls and seeing some odd paintings, like seeing a painting of a burned house, and, it's all coming clear. And when she comes face to face with all of those from Minnie, Abraham, Roman, and Guy, and all the others, well, being a part of this cult, and yeah, they're not doing anything. They're kind of taking this okay, and, they're not really shocked to see that she has a knife in her hand. And she finds out more information and the truth and such, because, well, Minnie, Roman, Guy, Abraham, and the others, they worship Satan. Yeah, and, her child is okay. She's in a rocking baby crib and such, with black drapes, obviously, with, it has to have black drapes. And when she slowly walks up to the baby and, peeping through those drapes, and the look on Rosemary's face, and right here, it's one of Mia Farrow's finest in this movie, I think. The look on her face and her eyes just popping, just how horrified she is. And basically, they did something to the baby's eyes. And they say to her that, well, her baby is the child of Satan, and apparently so. Satan raped Rosemary, and she's even having visions of Satan's eyes, creepy face and eyes, and just them chanting, "All hail Satan, God is dead." Just, holy crap, this is some screwed up crap, I should say. And just her horrified, and well, and she doesn't stab anything, for one thing. I mean, why couldn't she have? I don't know, especially at Guy, but, and them trying to reassure Rosemary, and even Roman saying to Rosemary that she can still be the mother to the child, and she doesn't have to join in the cult if she doesn't want to. Okay, that was at least nice of him to say that, you know, not forcing her to be a part of the cult. Just, you know, it's up to her, and well, for her to still be the mother of the child and such, mothering the child. And a couple of other, like, guests arriving to join the party, and even when Guy, you know, talks with Rosemary, and I guess in a way he's kind of apologizing to her or something, you know, what he says to her, and I was wondering what Rosemary would do to Guy. Well, she spits in his face. Yeah, rightfully so. At least she does that, and he did deserve it. He pretty much deserved it, and divorce. Maybe, more than likely. I don't know. But anyways. And even like Rosemary pointing out to one of the ladies that she's rocking the crib too fast, and Roman telling her to knock it off and have Rosemary rock the crib and such. Yeah. You don't do it fast. You do it very gently and slowly and with a little lullaby. And yeah. And can't forget to mention this, because as the movie began, you know, we first heard this, and we hear it again right as the movie finishes. This la, 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 how the la, la is sung. Yeah, very creepy, especially for the ending of the movie. And, you know, the question is, what's Rosemary gonna do? Is she okay with this now? I mean, more than likely, yeah, no doubt that, you know, she will mother this child. It's her child, but with this and with this cult and just, God. And that's how the movie ends. I mean, just, you know, all that's left, again, is her rocking the crib, and we hear the la-la, and one last shots of New York, and as it was in the opening of the movie with the opening credits, and yeah, and that's it. What a crazy way to end the movie right there. I tell ya. Rosemary's Baby. Wow. Again. This was something. It really was. Not what I was expecting, and yeah, because again, good thing I didn't see any clips or anything like that of this movie, but yeah, because now that I've finally seen it in all of its glory, yeah. Yeah, but just, you know, Rosemary's Baby, it is a good movie, and it's if not, a masterpiece of a movie, am I right? The story was pretty good, but also quite disturbing, and as the movie proceeds, the casting, you know, the characters, you know, from Mia Farrow and Charles Grodin, Ruth Gordon, John you know, Guy Woodhouse, and all the other cast members, yeah, they were great too. All of them were. The music and score, Roman Polanski's direction in this, he was good at directing this, and yeah, and just the chilling and unexpected moments, and clearly, because you do not see what to expect and what happens later on in this movie, I tell ya. Yeah, but just overall, Rosemary's Baby itself, it's a good movie. It's a masterpiece of a movie. I can't deny that. It really is. It can be kind of tough to watch, no doubt, but at the same time, it's a good film. It really is. And definitely a perfect Halloweenish film, don't you think? So, yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's in the category of, you know, like, say, the horror genre. More than likely, no doubt about it. But anyways. So, yeah. So I'm giving Rosemary's Baby, well, what the heck, 10 out of 10 stars. Yes. 10 out of 10 stars for Rosemary's Baby. Again, it is a good film, without a doubt. I won't deny it. Okay, so what about you guys? What do you think of Rosemary's Baby itself? Did you not see what was coming in this movie? And if, if any of you were familiar and aware of this movie, and if some of you had read the original book/novel, I'm pretty sure, who wouldn't have? Who wouldn't? And again, did you not see what was coming, and just like the direction this movie was taken, and what happens at the end of the movie, and just, God, with some disturbing images, and, but at the same time, did you have a good time watching this movie, and with great actors, and yeah. But yeah, just overall, what do you think of Rosemary's Baby itself, and with what I've had to say, my review, and yeah, what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like, as always. And so, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Rosemary's Baby. More review videos are coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And of course, continuing on, reviewing more Halloweenish films on the weekdays. And the next Halloweenish film I'll be reviewing, coming later tonight, well, it'll be, it'll be lighthearted and such, unlike, say, Rosemary's Baby. I think you get my point, yeah. And to best describe it, well, let's just say it has to do with clowns that come from outer space. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know exactly what it is. Again, stay tuned for that. Take care, and until I review the prequel to Rosemary's Baby, peace out.